Justin, you work with a friend of our show and a personal favorite of mine, Sister Tisa from Our Children. Tell me, how's that been going for you?
She's amazing. She's an amazing person. I learned about Our Children a few years ago, part of some changes in my life, and I decided that I wanted to mentor, and I learned that that organization is based off kids who have parents incarcerated. And I thought, what a great thing, as me being a person who didn't have a father growing up, I thought, how great would it be to maybe provide that type of mentorship to kids who don't have it. I reached out, I met her and her staff, and she employs like a lot of great people, and met her, well, I guess you meet somebody one time. I've seen her many times since, and she's just an amazing person.
You know, we're going to get into this a little bit more, but you talk about some of the hardships in your life and the challenges that you've had to face and how your faith has brought you out of that, and just your need to help people. One of your very active causes right now is in another Christian-based charity, and that's called the Children's Rescue Mission. And I just want to take a second just so our viewers can hear why this is so important to you. So let's listen in.
Since 1999, CRM has been fighting poverty in Honduras. We build wells for clean, purified water, schools for kids who can't afford education, computer labs to help bridge the digital divide, and we provide food for the families of Tu Presente, Honduras. Our presence provides hope for the Honduran people. Many kids rely on Children's Rescue Mission for food and water. Look at these kids lining up to be fed. Some of these children are only 3 and 4 years old.
Justin, 3 and 4 years old, some of these children. Why this cause? Why Honduras?
Well, honestly, it could be anywhere. I happen to have a connection with Honduras, and I know Honduras is a very, very poor country, as well as many Central American countries. When I connected through video and through some pictures of my friend who was on the board of that particular organization, and I saw some of the kids, I just said automatically I wanted to go. When you see kids who are 3 and 4 and they don't have food and they don't have pencils to go to school with, part of my empathy was like, I would just like, through gratitude, to be able to help in any way that I could.
You know what, we talked a little bit about how with Pope Francis's visit, a lot of people, Catholics and non-Catholics alike, began to realize how our Holy Father reaches out to the youth and the elderly, but mostly people on the fringes of society. And it's something that inspires many of us. Do you find that kind of inspiration as well through the Holy Father or through other outlets?
Oh, absolutely. When he was here and listening to him talk, listening to his lectures, and just realizing how accessible he is, how he wants to eat with quote unquote the common man, how he doesn't really, ride around in a fancy car. He's very, very accessible. And I found for myself, the most relevant I've become as a human being, the more interesting I've become is when I'm very accessible to anyone. It doesn't matter if they're a child in Honduras or if they're somebody in New York or whatever.
So now you've traveled to Honduras before,
right.
Correct?
Yes.
Now that takes a great deal of humility. I mean, I always say when we have problems here, I call them first world problems. The things that we really think are so huge really don't amount to what you see when you're there in Honduras with the children. So now you're in the trenches, you're seeing their faces. What do they need? What is the biggest necessity for them?
The biggest necessity they need is hope. What I mean by that is when people like myself go and you just tell them they can do anything in life, they will believe you if you tell them that. Now, you can give a child a meal, and that's just temporarily, that's ephemeral. But when you give a child hope and you tell them they can do whatever they want and you're a resource and I'm here available through Facebook or other means, and they write you and you keep encouraging them, that can give them the tools and the utensils to be able to get out and maybe make a possible better career for themselves and provide for them families.
I can see how important the cause is to you, and we're going to let our viewers know how they can help you.
Please.
But I want to talk a little bit more just about you, your spirituality, where you found your faith and why you had a very difficult life.
Well, I think my story, and I have to be honest about it because it might be able to help someone, but basically 4 years ago, I was very unhappy, even though it might have looked like I was happy. I had a great job, and I was doing stand-up pretty much full time. But basically, one night I was watching a movie, and in the movie I saw myself. It was a guy who was drinking a lot and living a very vacuous life. And there was one point in the movie when he passed out, and he went back in sobriety, and he said, right here is where I passed out when my wife and my kid were at the airport waiting for me. And I said, that's pathetic. And I said, oh wait, that's you. And that, something went through my body, and it just said, Justin, you can become the man you admire today if you want. You just have to make a few changes. And the humility that went through me was basically, I didn't know what I thought I knew, and I thought maybe I would take one step at a time, one day at a time, to start changing my life. And that led to therapy, that led to going to church, that led to mentorship, that led to volunteering, that led to Our Children, that led to many other things. That's why I'm going to Honduras in a few weeks, and that's why I'm raising money, because I'm so thankful that I found that gratitude to change. And when you go to Honduras and you see a 2 and 3 year old, it's like, how lucky am I to be born here and have what I have? Like, I could be anywhere else. I could be over there. So if I do have that type of gratitude, it's my job and it's my duty as a human being to go help other people.
There, but for the grace of God, go I.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Really quickly, how do we get in touch with you? How can our viewers or anybody else that want to help?
Well, the biggest thing is GoFundMe.com/CR Mission, and it's Children's Rescue Mission. GoFundMe.com/CR Mission. You can find me on Facebook or any other thing, if you don't mind seeing pictures of my family.
Your family's beautiful.
It's Justin Kelly McClure.
All right.
The main thing is, with the mission, if they could find that, it'd be great.
Okay, Justin, thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Very inspirational story. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for
I really
having me.
appreciate it.